Try not to become a man of success. Rather, become a man of value. Albert Einstein. A very good and warm morning to everyone. I'm Akshay Sridhar, and it's an honor to compare the fifth successful day of National Nutrition Week celebration 2021, organized by Department of Nutrition, Food Service Management, and Dietetics from Srimati De Kunwar, Nananalbat, Vaishnav College of Women. A day without a prayer is a day without a blessing. A life without a prayer is a life without a power. Let's start today's program with our college prayer.
सत्यव्रतम् सत्यपरम् त्रिसत्यम् सत्यस्य योनिम् निहितम् च सत्ये सत्यस्य सत्यम् हृतसत्यनेत्रम् सत्यात्मकम् त्वाम् शरणम् प्रपन्नाः वाणी गुणानुकतने श्रवणौ कथायाम् हस्तौ च कर्मसु मनस्तव पादयोनः स्मृत्याम् शिरस्तव निवास जगत्प्रणामे दृष्टि सदा दर्शनेषु भवत्तनूना नमो भगवते तस्मै कृष्णायाद्भुतकर्मणे रूपनाम विभेदेन जगत्क्रीडति यो यतः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
When people are trying to lose weight, they always consider and set physical goals. Whenever there is a conversation about shedding pounds and getting fitter and healthier, we always hear things along the lines of I want to fit into a size so and so, I want to have six pack abs, a thigh gap, or muscular arms, or something similar. So, when physical goals are the great objective to aspire to, they should not form the basis of your weight loss journey. Let's get to know more about how to be fit by our distinguished speaker of the day, Ms. Karpagavalli Madam. I now request Ms. Tanushree to introduce our speaker of the day.
Yeah, very good and warm morning to everyone. Today we have amongst us Ms. P. Karpavalli, an eminent person. Ma'am is the director of the brand Soltam, a unit of S community, you are what to eat. This resonates her belief of having a healthy soul by leading a healthy lifestyle, by also understanding the concept that food is an information. She is a lifestyle coach accredited by the International Sports Science Association for Sports Nutrition. Ms. Karpavalli was awarded her master's degree in nutrition food service management and dietetics from Women's Christian College, Chennai. Ma'am has nearly a decade experience in distinct fields like constant enhancement of holistic nutrition, weight management, and sports nutrition for celebrity clients and various individuals from different walks of life. Ms. Karpavalli deals with a wide range of nutrition-related health issues, including gut issues like bloating, acidity, inflammatory bowel syndrome, hormonal issues like polycystic ovary syndrome, endometriosis, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Ma'am has partnered with Women's Volleyball Team, SRM University, and Smashbones Academy and Kadoshias Academy, and grooming many athletes and individuals towards a fitter lifestyle. Ma'am has been invited as a resource person to various events. We consider it a privilege to have you today with us, ma'am.
Thank you, Tanushree. I now request our distinguished chief guest, Ms. Karpagavalli, to address the gathering.
Okay, that was a nice welcome to me. Thank you, guys. This actually being a very, very nice, like, even in the pandemic, you guys are doing all this. I'm going to my college days where we sit in the gallery and view these kind of lectures and all these things. Since it's being, the technology is being improved and all that, you guys being get utilized of all the opportunities. Thanks to the management, thanks to Sarah for inviting me. It's a great thing that, we being a nutritionist, we are helping a lot of people to be fit and healthy. Actually, to be honest, equally, we are doing our part with doctors and all that. So happy being a nutritionist and happy being part of this today's ceremony. Thank you. So let's start. Hi guys. So today I'm going to talk about this good topic of yours, fats to fit. That's a nice topic that was given to me. First I heard the topic, I was so happy hearing the topic. So firstly, I just want to introduce myself, like you guys all introduce. My company name is Soltum. Okay, I am Karpagavalli. You can also call me Bhavani. So a lot of people find it difficult to call me Karpagavalli. So yeah, I have done my PG, UG, everything in the same field, and done the masters in food service management, and specialized in sports nutrition. See, this specialization is something unique that I want all of you to do. Not in this place, but anywhere, somewhere. The specialization talks a lot. Okay, because it's very, very important to do the masters as well as a specialization that gives you a good benefit for your career. Okay, fine. So let's go into the topic of today's. Hold on.
Ma'am, I think you are on mute, ma'am.
Okay, now you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
PPT is clear?
Couldn't see your screen, please.
You're not able to see the screen?
Yes.
Oh. Now it's clear?
Yes. Full screen, please.
Yes, it's fine. Okay. So guys, so today we will be seeing fats to fit. This is the topic that's been given to me. So that's something very interesting for a lot of us, because everyone want to be fit now these days. Okay. So being a fat is nothing wrong, guys. So everybody is thinking that, being bulky is wrong. This is something our body is made of. Okay. This is a weight. Okay. So a lot of us think being fat is something, being bulky, that's wrong. It's not like that. Being fat is different, being bulky is different. Okay, so we need to get the terms right and understand it right. In theory, like when we read, when we do our studies, we understand something, but in reality, we apply something else. So we need to link both the things together and understand what is fitness. Okay, a lot of us have a different opinion when it comes to weight loss. So I'm going to try to break some quite few myths that what we understand when we study and what we apply when we practice. Okay, so let's see what is being fat. So when we say a person is fat, if a person is a bit bulkier, we say he's so fat, he's so bulky. We say that, right? So if you think that a fat person is not active, it's a big question mark, right? Maybe fat person is still active, being thin, being people who are so thin or still being very, very less active. So you being active, how your health is, that is more important than being fat or thin or whatever it is. Okay, so being fat, how we measure? By the appearance? No. We generally, as in scientific terms, as per reality procedures, we measure a person through the body mass index, right? Which is your BMI. It's your height and weight ratio. I hope everybody is aware of BMI. So there is a lot of categories that WHO has categorized as under underweight, normal weight, overweight, obese, and grade 1, grade 2, and all that. Okay, so this is like a criteria. It's a category of a person being under this category. Okay, so just with the BMI, you can decide a person is fat? No, guys, believe me, just with the BMI, you cannot decide a person. Just imagine a person who is working out every day, who's a weight lifter, okay, and his BMI is maybe more than 29, and he is a weightlifter. How the BMI is 29? You need to think about it. It is because of the fat or muscle. Okay, even if a person is having a more muscle percentage in his body, and he looks bulky, he's not having a lot of fat in his body, but still he will be in high BMI. So you cannot decide a person is unhealthy or he's obese, or that obese term, you cannot just take that into account, just the BMI, and start telling him you are unhealthy. You cannot do that. You need to know in detail about the fat and the muscle percentage to decide how he need to lose weight. Okay, again, I'm giving you an example. If a person is weighing 70 kgs and his BMI comes to 29, and the fat percentage of his is more than 25, 24, then you need to work on it. Okay, guys, so you need to know the fat muscle percentage than getting into the BMI. BMI is must, but don't come to a conclusion just with the BMI. That's what I'm saying. Okay, and also when it comes to the fat and the muscle percentage, there is a limit for like a range for that. Okay, for women, it needs to be 19 below. 19.9 is the normal range. For men, it is 20. I'm sorry, I'm making it a wrong say. Okay, so women it is 29.9. For men, it is 19.9. Okay, guys. So this is how we need to see the range of the fat and then decide whether they're having higher fat or muscle. Okay. What happens in reality? How we decide a person he is fat? So generally we think, okay, by look, we see the person, he's so bulky, I think he's fat. We call them, you are fat, right? And if the BMI goes high, we say fat. And the weight, we generally don't measure anything, and just if we see he is weighing more than 70, 80, we say you are fat, you're overweight, right? So that's wrong. Okay, and outfit, guys, this is nothing wrong actually. Okay, I won't say this is wrong. This is kind of right, but then yeah, we need to know what it is. Outfits matters, but you cannot just always rely on outfits, guys. If you see, by the age goes, our body structure make everything change. Okay, there are so many people who say if you take a gene in the age of 15 years or 20 years, and you want to fit into that gene at 30 years, how is it even possible? It is not that you are unhealthy now at 30. It's your body make. You need to understand at the age of 30, definitely all the hormones, everything change, and your body composition also change. You cannot be in Hawaii you're weighing at 40 kgs in 20 years, and you want to be same at the 40 kgs in 30 years, you will be underweight. Okay, you will be married, you will be giving birth to a kid. So how is it even possible? So don't rely too much on the outfits. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Okay, so how do we come to a conclusion that a person is having more fat? You need to work on the weight. You need to work on the say for example, you need to work on the person's health. How we need to decide? Get the in-body analysis. Get into a DEXA scan. This gives you more realistic numbers. Okay, when it comes to your fat percentage, your muscle percentage, everything. Okay. So we need to get into these details and then start giving a personal advice. Just with all these things, don't come to a conclusion. That cannot be realistic. You cannot go consistently. Okay. So we've spoken about fat. What is being fit, guys? Being thin, fitting into a proper outfit, that is being fit? Not really. You need to be fit, healthy. When we say fit, healthy also comes like a best friend along with it. Okay. So being fit is different. But for us, a lot of us, okay, even for me, before 8 years, if you ask me who's a person who's fit, I would say a person who is so thin and having that toned muscle is fit. But yeah, he is also fit. But he or she should also have a good health in terms of physical, mental, and social well-being. You must have all read about this WHO's definition of being healthy. That's what it is. You need to be all way healthy, then you are fit. Okay. You need to do your everyday activity with good energy. You should not get tired often. You need to do your workout without any disturbance. So if you are that way, then you are fit. And you should also sleep good, guys. Your emotional well-being is also very important when it comes to fitness. Okay. If you eat well and if you do work out well and you're not sleeping good and still you're not fit. Okay. There are so many criteria when it comes to fitness. It's just not by the looks. Okay. So don't decide a person he's fit or not just by the looks. Okay. Okay, so I said fit. When we talk about fitness, the health also comes along, right? So what does healthy mean? All three things together. Like already told you, physical fitness, we can call it this way also. We can call it physical fitness, mental fitness, social fitness. You need to be fit. When you say fit, if you take a box, you need to fit into that, right? That's what we call it. So you need to be fit in all the criteria. For that, you need to have a good lifestyle. So you have heard about this stuff, lifestyle management. That's what everybody is talking about these days. So what is that lifestyle management means? So if you have a good lifestyle, then you can be a really, really fit in all ways, like your physical, mental, and social well-being. Okay. So we will be seeing those things and how to be that fit in the regular lifestyle. Okay. So for that, we need to break a lot of myths, guys. So there are so many myths. I've just listed some few, okay, which is very, very important. So we will be seeing these things in detail. Skipping meals, aid weight loss. This is something a lot of people have. I don't think so. Like, yeah, I don't know here itself in this group, how many of us skipping meals? I don't know. Let's discuss that at the end. Okay. So a lot of us skip meals, right? Maybe it's just not for weight loss. Maybe we are busy watching TV, or maybe we are busy getting ready to college or work or something. The priorities are different, so we generally skip our meals. Okay, and also we do a lot of different fancy fasting stuff and all that. So we are reading that, skipping meals are still fine. Is it good or bad? We'll discuss on that. Okay. And you can target specific areas for weight loss. This is also something very, very funny, because when a lot of people come to me, they ask that, எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் வயிறு பெருசா இருக்கு, they say this, my tummy is little big, I need to lose my tummy. Or they say, when women comes, they say my thighs, my arms are little bulky, I need to use my weight in your arms, I need to lose my weight in my thighs. Is it even possible, guys? Think about it. It's really not possible. We call it as a spot reduction. Is that possible in a good lifestyle management? Not really. Okay, so don't get into those kind of myths. That is a big myth. You cannot lose one particular area. Okay, when you lose weight, it has to be from the top to toe. Okay, it will be that way. You cannot reduce one particular area by following certain food pattern or something. But it's possible with a good posture, like, when you do a particular exercise, that is possible. Like, reducing that extra fat around the organ, that is kind of possible. Yeah. Okay. All calories are equal. This is again a myth. Why I say myth is, definitely we know all calories are not equal, right, guys? You must have known how much of calorie a carbs give, protein give, fat gives. There is all different, right? So how can it be same? It is not, right? So when it comes to reality also, why this myth is being given is, if you are being in a weight loss diet, okay, so you generally cut on all the nutrients. Why? Because you go on a zero calorie. We call zero calorie food and all that. We get into that criteria. Why so? If protein gives you calories, fat also gives you calories, carbs also give you calories. But the calories from the protein and the calories from the fat, which is your good fats, and the calories from the complex carbs are still fine. So we need to know the calories is coming from which source. Okay, so we need to get into that detail than cutting down on the calories on the whole. Okay, so that is very important. Okay, then the next myth is supplement helps. On the whole, supplement, yes, it helps, guys, but make it clear. Like, when I say supplement helps, that common term is wrong. Okay, just supplement will not help. Supplement is always a supplement, where, as the term says, it's supplement. It is only supplementing something which you're having. It is, you cannot replace something with supplements. Okay, which a lot of us doing. Okay, these days there are so many people who replace the food with supplement. Is it right? That is wrong. Okay, so when I say supplement helps, does supplement alone help in weight loss, or does supplement alone help in weight management or a good lifestyle? No. Okay, supplement, you need to use it always as a supplement. And this is, I like this myth actually, because a lot of people who comes to me talk to me about this. Carbs and fat. Don't give me carbs and fat at all, Bhavani. Please don't give me this. They say that to me. Okay, so I don't know why, because carbs and fat, you need it. All the nutrient, guys, you need it in an equal amount. Okay, you cannot leave any nutrient as such. So when you think that you want to get into a good lifestyle, you cannot avoid this carbs and fat. You need to have it. Who said that carbs and fat is going to make fat? It's not going to make you fat. It's about how much you consume and what type of carbs you consume and what type of fat you consume. On the whole, carbs and fat in general doesn't make you fat. Okay, how you eat, what time you eat, what type you eat, all these things matters, not generally fat and carbs. Because a lot of people are having these kind of diets these days, cutting down on the complete carb source and cutting down on the complete fat source, all these things, but you will be getting into a lot of deficiencies and a lot of other problems. So that is a big myth. Okay, and weight loss diet, last myth that I'm going to talk is about weight loss diet works. What does it mean, weight loss diet? I'm making it very general. Yes, see, weight loss, I don't believe in the term diet itself. Okay, so because it's being adulterated these days, that's why I don't believe in diet as such now. Because diet nowadays is restricting on certain nutrients, restricting on certain food is diet these days. Dieting, I am on diet. How many of us say this? Everybody, I think, I'm on diet. I don't eat this, I don't eat that, I am on diet. Why you need to cut down on so many things? You can still eat all the food, but you need to eat mindfully. Okay, if you go out, you should not eat a lot of junks. Yes, you are right, but if you're eating it on everyday basis, then you need to avoid that on that day. If you are eating it only on that day, you can still go enjoy that occasion with your friends. Why not to have a pizza? Still you can have pizza, it's nothing wrong. Okay, so weight loss diet, does it really works? When I say weight loss diet, I'm talking about fat diets, I'm talking about crash diets. Let's go in detail about those things. Okay, so that gives you more clarity. Okay, so crash dieting, the plate itself looks so colorful, right? But it's so boring, guys. Just having a vegetables for lunch or dinner, is it going to be really good? Not really. If you ask me to eat just vegetables for my dinner, I will not, because that's so boring. First, to start with a diet, maybe you will have all the motivation to start. Okay, I am on diet now. Let me just eat what the nutritionist says or what the dietitian says. That's what we have it in our mind. But you need to think this: is it possible to do it for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year down the line? Is it possible? You need to think that way. Whichever is consistent, whichever is doable, whichever is realistic, that is dieting. That is good diet. That is a lifestyle modification. So what is crash dieting? When we say crash itself, you are neglecting or omitting or a nutrient. You are cutting down on carbs, you're cutting down on fat, or you're going high on the protein. So that's called as your crash diet. Okay. So in the fancy terms, we call it as fad diets. Okay, what is fad diets? Fad is famous. That's what it's called as famous diet. Something unrealistic, which gives you very quick results. Okay, like for example, these days, like a lot of us, we will be knowing about these paleo, keto diet. Okay, a lot of diets these days, gluten free and all these things, right? So is this really good? Is it good? Gives you good result? Yes, it gives you good result. But when you need to use it, to whom you need to use it, that's a big question mark, guys. So for everybody, just if someone says that, this is giving me good result, you cannot follow that for yourself. Okay, you don't know about how your body is going to react, right? So you need to know what are fad diets and whether you need to use it or not. But with me, if you ask me personally, I would say no to all the fad diets, because this is our trending diets, which is very, very famous short period, and it goes off. It cannot be, you cannot follow it for your lifetime. So that way it cannot give you a good health. Okay. When we say fit, we are not just talking about losing weight. We are also talking about being healthy, right? So when we want to be healthy, you cannot do all these kind of fad diets or called as crash diets. Okay. So who have tried this? I don't know, but I've tried myself all the fad diets with me, because I need to tell my clients how the fad diets work now. So some of the common fad diet which is commonly used, like when you come out of college, okay, once you start your career as a nutritionist or as a dietitian, definitely, guys, you will be getting exposed to all these kind of diets. Okay, so maybe now itself a lot of us would have started, but when I was doing my college, I've never done such kind of dieting. But yeah, here we're going to talk about keto, paleo, vegetarian, vegan, Mediterranean, raw diet, low carb, no sugar, nut free, dairy free, gluten free, egg free. So many. Actually, the list is less. There are so many other fad diets also. See, these are always a temporary style that you can take for yourself. Give it a try, see how the body reacts, and then maybe push it for some 2-3 months, and you need to stop it somewhere. You cannot do it lifelong. I will take paleo as an example. So what is paleo diets? Your fat needs to be really high. When I say fat needs to be really high, at least your fat, your food source, your calories should come from 40 to 50% from your fat. Is it even possible, guys? More than actually 50%. Most of us should be fat. Is it even possible? So in paleo diet, generally what we do is we give some 7 to 8 eggs for breakfast on everyday basis, or if it's a vegetarian, we ask them to eat so many almonds in one shot. Is it even possible? Imagine you give bulletproof coffees and all that. See, these are things, it's not really possible consistent. Okay, so on the whole, please don't get into any kind of crash of fat diets. You apply, say, when I say bulletproof coffee, it's actually very good. Why it's actually very good? It contains MCT, which is your medium chain triglycerides. Okay, but you need to tweak it according to our lifestyle. You can use 1 spoon instead of 15 spoon of MCTs. Okay, you can use 1 spoon of MCT oil, like coconut oil or a ghee or something, to start your day with. Have a good balance over your insulin. That way you can tweak your days, not getting into on the whole, or 24 hours or all the eating window you need to follow a paleo. That's wrong. Okay, so tweak it according to your lifestyle and your body needs. That's more important. Okay, why they don't work? Okay, this is something exactly what happens. So you start your diet. Okay, so you go to a dietitian, you go to a nutritionist. So they're going to get some details from you. So they give you a diet. So you're starting it. So what they say, don't eat this, don't eat that. This will make you fat, that will make you fat. There are so many list of foods that's going to be restricted. You're already motivated, guys, because you paid the dietitian. Okay, so first you paid the dietitian, you're motivated. A lot of your friends and people are telling you that you are fat. Okay, for that you have all the motivation. So you started to restrict all the foods the dietitian say. Okay, so 1 week, a lot of motivation. After 7 days, you will lose a little, you will lose some more, you will deprive of something. Okay, so the dietitian is saying, don't eat biryani or chicken at all, or something which you love. Okay, ice cream, chocolate, something you love to eat. Don't eat at all. So you are restricting yourself for more than 10 days. 15 days, you're a very good girl or a very good student or whatever. So you're a very good person. So you're able to restrict for 15 days. What happens then? You deprive, you go to a sorrow mood, a deprived mood. You get you will just be upset. Okay, then your body goes to a craving mode. You crave for it. Even before 15 days, if you would have had biryani, maybe you would have had only half plate of biryani. But now 15 days, you've stopped eating biryani. You want 2 plates of biryani then. So you crave for it. So you dive into having biryani. So you tend to have so much of biryani. So what happens then? You feel guilty. So, oh my God, I was on diet. What happened to my diet? Oh my God, I had 2 plates of biryani. I need to start getting to my diet. So you will forcefully do fasting on the next day to compensate or something, and then again start. So how possible? Imagine yourself getting into so much of stress, getting into that mode. Eat, not eat, what to eat, how much to eat, so much of confusion. Like this diet cycle happens when you do fat diets. Okay, so you will be very, very, you will be in a structure before you start a diet. Okay, and then you start a fat diet, you will go really, really thin. Okay, you lose a lot of weight. Guys, understand, I'm talking about only weight here. I'm not talking about fat, or I'm not talking about muscle here. So you need to understand this right. So in fat diets, you will lose weight. So your structure, you will lose on all the weight that you had, extra weight. Then what happens? You cannot maintain that. You will start eating again. Whatever the dietitian told or whatever you Googled. That's what a lot of us do. Most of us are not checking with dietitian or nutritionist. They are Googling, no? So Google, you've done enough Google and you started a diet. So whatever been given in the diet chart, you are not able to follow. You started eating which you started like before. What happens? You double up, guys. You double up. Why? The reason you are on the crash diet. So what happens when you are in the crash diet? You don't know what is your fat. You don't know what is your muscle. You don't know what your body needs. So you generally go on a diet. What happens? Your water being out from the body. So you will be very happy. Oh, I am 70 kgs. Now I've come to 55 kgs. Yeah, now I've come to 60 kgs. I'm so happy. So let me start eating whatever I want. So that's the zone we go into when we do a fat diet. So what happens? So these diets will only remove the excess water from the body. Okay, that's how the reason is so fast. Sorry, that's how the result is so fast. Okay, so when the result is so fast, believe me, you will gain it back. Okay, so that's the reason if you are into a fat diet, you cannot maintain the same structure for the long time. So you double up. So you being at 70, 70, that feeling we must have got. Like, 70 and 60, and then you become 80. Why? Why you need to do that? Rather, you can start you be in 70, focus for 68, focus for 67, like that, 1 by 1 kg a month or 1 kg for 2 months, like that, make it realistic. That weight, you will not gain it back, because to shred that weight, guys, you will be not restricting yourself, you're not restricting on any nutrients, you still lose that weight. That weight will be your fat. Okay, so if you lose something like that, that will be your fat, and that is how it is realistic, and that's how you can maintain it. Okay, so this is all about the fat diets and how does it really work with us. Okay, so for what we need to do, so I've said that you should not do fat diets, and then what we need to do? General term, eat healthy. When I say eat healthy, eat all the nutrients that is possible. Okay, so when I say all the nutrients, equal importance to your macro and micro. Okay, so these things you guys must have read about in details, like during your college days. Eating healthy is very important. Okay, need of a balanced diet. See, this is how you can actually maintain a good lifestyle. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to understand your body needs, how your body is made of, what are the nutrients you're lagging. You need to know your vitamins. You need to check on the vitamin D, vitamin B12. Okay, you need to check if you are a woman, you need to know what's your iron level, hemoglobin level. Okay, you are in the age of 20 plus, 22 plus, you need to know your hormones. Okay, all these things we need to understand and have a good balanced food. Okay, so by having a good balanced lifestyle, good balanced diet, definitely you can achieve a good weight. I mean, maintain a good weight. Okay, this is something we generally do, right? Food pyramid. Okay, from 11th standard I'm reading this, but tell me honestly, guys, this is what is being suggested as a diet to us? Okay, let's take this as an example. What is being given as a large quantity to eat? Rice, and then comes fruits, vegetable, and then comes fat and animals. I mean, protein source. But what we are doing now, when we go on a diet, what is being restricted? The food pyramid says we need to have the staple food a lot, but we are just taking the staple food away from the diet, throwing it out. Correct? So we are saying no to rice, no to wheat, no to this, no to all the carbs. We think cereals only gives carbs. That only is a myth. All the vegetables also having carbs, your fruits having carbs, all the things are having carbs, right? So that's something different. Okay, so we'll come to this pyramid now. So are we following this? No. But what we need to follow, all these are questions comes to our head. So honestly, you cannot follow this pyramid when it comes to your healthy lifestyle. Okay, so you cannot have a lot of fries, less of vegetables, then this. Actually, it's a vice versa. You need to have a lot of good fats, you need a lot of have proteins, then comes your fruits, vegetables, then comes your rice. In this area, actually, this has to be ulta. but that's not our science says. That's not the reality. I mean, theoretical things say. In reality, if you go to a nutritionist, that's what they say. You know, eat less of rice, eat a lot of vegetables, then this, that's that. Okay, so you need to apply things. You cannot blindly believe. That's what I'm trying to say. You cannot just follow a food pyramid. You cannot just follow a crash diet as well. You need to give it a good balance over both the things. How you can give that balance? Only when you understand a person's need. Okay, you need to apply it for each and every individual. That's why I say Google is not possible, guys. You need to understand, sit with the person and then understand, and then only you can give a person a proper diet. Okay. Okay, so when I say proper, so I said that you cannot stick to a food pyramid. Then what can I do, ma'am? That's what everybody will be asking. No, that's what everybody will be thinking now also. So what you can do is have a good balanced diet. So when I say balanced diet, all the macro and the micro should be there in the diet. That's how your diet needs to be. When I say diet, I'm not saying restriction of nutrients. I'm saying all the nutrients to include. That's what diet is, guys. Okay, you should not mistake it in a different way. Okay, so diet means having all the nutrients together is a balanced diet. Okay, so carbs, protein, fat, equally important. I've actually missed a nutrient here. What is it? You can think about it. There is one macronutrient which comes here. What is it? Just think about it. I will ask in the beginning to you guys as a question. Okay, so there is one more macronutrient which is here, which I have missed. So that is also should be included, and all the micronutrients as well. Okay, so for that, what you need to do is stop getting into all the Google stuff. Okay, get a customized plan. Ask your clients. I mean, tell your whatever your friends or whoever it is, get into a customized plan. So every meal should be customized for yourself. Again, I'm going to give you a quick example, so then the understanding is much better. Okay, so if a person is weighing 70 kgs, height of 162, okay, and he's working out every day, and he's a male, right? Okay, fine. So, and the fat percentage is 18. Okay, he is under the normal fat, and the muscle is more than 60%. So how you can give this person a diet? So this person diet will be completely different, and the person who's having a high fat and a low muscle will be completely different. For the first case I told you, you will be giving a lot of high protein diet, right? You will concentrate on a lot of protein to increase the muscle. Wherein this way, you will also give a lot of protein and restrict some carbs. So all the things can be done only if the diet plan is customized. If you generally get a diet plan which your friend is following, that will not be in your case. Okay, if your friend doesn't have a iron deficiency and you have an iron deficiency, how is it even possible to follow your friend's diet? Okay, so anybody who wants to get into a good lifestyle and they want their diet pattern to be corrected, they need to have a customized one. So you become a nutritionist for yourself also. You cannot follow a structured diet plan. Client comes to you, for all the clients, same diet plan. That is not possible. It has to be customized as per their body needs, work lifestyle, exercise, everything. Okay, so this is how a diet plan actually looks. All these meals should be there. What is that thing? First, you give them as soon as they wake up. What's a breakfast? What's a snack? Lunch, evening snack, dinner, bedtime, and also the workout meal should be there. Your pre, during, post workout. This is how a customized plan should be. Okay, so we have spoken about enough about food, diet, and all that. So for a fitness, for being fit, for being healthy. So what are the next thing? Exercise, right? So we cannot forget this. Nobody can be fit, healthy just by eating and not doing exercise, right? You need to also do good amount of exercise. So what is it? How is it even possible to do it? What is the right way? So let's talk a bit about that. Okay. So when I say exercise, This is again something a lot of people is doing, which is overdoing. Okay, they've gained weight. People are talking about their structure. Somebody's saying you're overweight, you're fat, or whatever. They want to do exercise, which is very, very good, guys. Doing exercise is very good. But if you do it for 3 to 4 hours, will it be of a good effect? No, not at all. It's not possible at all, guys. It's not possible, because you need to know how your body is, right? And anyways, you're doing it for 1 hour. What happens after 1 hour? Already the muscles are tired. So you are thinking that 3 to 4 hours, if you do in a day, you will lose more fat or you will lose more weight. Seriously, not possible. Okay, why it's not possible? Already your muscles are tired after 1 hour. You're pushing it for 1.5 hours itself is wrong. You're pushing it for 3 hours, nothing will happen. You will only keep losing out on the calories. Losing out on the extra calories will not help you. Your muscle will become so sore, so tired. You will not have a good muscle build up. If your muscle is not getting built up, what happens? Your water goes out from the body. So it is not going to help you anyway. When you do 3 to 4 hours of exercise, your water gets hydrated, your body gets really, really dehydrated, right? So doing excess exercise will definitely not help you losing weight. You need to do exercise, but required quantity, like, when I say quantity, the intensity, okay? The required intensity and the required time. Don't overdo, okay? So how I need to do it wisely? Understand what's your body make, what is the need of the body, do it accordingly. So, just because your friend is doing, don't get into that. Okay, understand what will suit you. And this is again one myth I want to talk here. Going to walk or going for a run just will alone help you to have a good lifestyle. Not really, guys. You need to get into weight training. Okay, when I say weight training, strengthening, and especially women. Okay, because those days, if you see, all our grandmothers, I am not also talking about our mother, grandmothers and all used to lift weights, lot of weights, like even the marble they grind, they used to lift their tanni, water they carry, they lift weight, right? So they did some kind of weight training those days. Okay, but we are not doing any kind of weight training in our regular activities. So for that, especially for women, especially for a good hormonal balance, guys, you need to have a good workout. When I say good workout, I'm going for a 1 hour walk. I'm losing out weight. Yeah, you will lose weight, which is very, very good. I'm not commenting on that, but you need to also have at least weekly, once or twice of weight training or strengthening for your muscles. Then only you will have a toned muscle. You will have a toned structure. Okay, the loosening of muscles, all that will not be there, and your hormones will be well balanced. Okay, and also you can also do yoga. And don't get into this idea. Just by doing yoga, you can have a good hormonal balance. Not really. Yoga is very good. Doing it every day is very, very good. But strengthening or weight training is very, very important. At least weekly, once or twice. Okay, so this is something you need to know about workout. And also when you need to, when we talk about workout and having a good lifestyle balance, you need to also have a good workout nutrition. When I say workout nutrition, it's about your pre, post, and during workout meals. Okay. So we have spoken about diet. We have spoken about exercise. There is one more thing that we generally follow to lose the weight. This is one more shortcut that we do. What is it? Therapies. We go to some kind of exercise places, lose weight, 1 month 15 kgs. That will be an ad given. Lose 10 kgs in 1 month, lose 10 kgs in 3 months, like that. No. So what they do, we don't know, but we want to lose weight. Generally, we go to that place and reduce the weight and come back. What happens next? What happens next? Gaining it back is again the different case. What happens to your nutrients, guys? What happens to the health? Okay, so we have already spoken, right? Being fit is also being healthy, right? So what happens to that? So we are forgetting that. So don't get into that mode. don't ever try all these kind of therapies for shortcuts. These therapies of person who are weighing more than 150 kgs or 160 kgs, which is extremely obese. For those people, because they cannot do their everyday activity, for those people, not for the normal individuals. So these kind of therapies are a big no, because this will remove your all the water soluble vitamins, all the minerals from your body, and a lot of water from your body. That's how you're losing weight, not your fat. It's not giving any benefit when it comes to your fat. Okay, so that way you're not losing a healthy weight loss. It's not giving you any kind of healthy weight loss. Okay, that's something therapy. Okay, so next about the supplements. So this is again, I spoke in the beginning itself. Just by having supplements as food will not help you. I don't want to name it here, anything here, but yeah, there are so many powders which is being coming these days. You're mixing it in water and just gulping out for your breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and you say that's your breakfast, that's your dinner. Guys, no, don't do that. You are losing out on a lot of nutrients that way. You are not becoming fit, you are only losing your health. Okay, that is not fitness, that is not healthy. So supplements are always supplements. You can only compensate, supplement something with your food. Extra, that's something extra that you can give it along with the food. It can never be a food. Okay, supplements can be, if you take a whey protein, it can be a post meal, or it can be along with your breakfast, or cut down on the breakfast a little and also add the whey protein. Okay, you cannot just have that, or you can do it in alternative days or something. Okay, but just having supplements as a food is wrong. And also here I want to talk about something which is your fat burners. Okay, fat burners. You want to lose weight, using fat burners is very wrong. And especially when it comes to your hormones, it's going to do a lot of issues when it comes to your health if you use a lot of fat burners and extra additional unwanted supplements. Okay, so that's something which is very wrong. But if you need a supplement, you need to do it. So when we need a supplement, is about your blood works. Okay, if you are deficient in certain nutrients, say for example you are deficient in your vitamin D, which is common, right? Everybody is lagging in the vitamin D. Then you need supplement. Otherwise, don't get into a supplement unnecessarily. Just because you want to lose weight or somebody is having it, don't get into supplements. It's wrong. It's not required. If you are a person who doesn't have fruits or vegetables at all in your life, then you can think about some vitamins. Otherwise, don't have. Why you need? If you're having already good vegetables and fruits, why you need multivitamin? You are already getting it from it. So not required. Only with a professional advice, we need to go with the supplements, and not just for losing weight. Okay. These are some important supplements that we need to think about on our everyday lifestyle. Okay. Having a good omega-3, vitamin D, B12. If at all you are a vegetarian, you are lagging with a lot of low protein, then of course a vegan protein or a whey protein. Sometimes yes, collagen and zinc. These are some vitamins, supplements it's been suggested on everyday basis based on the, again I'm saying not to everyone, based on the blood works, based on the individuals, we will be suggesting all this. These are the important supplements which is required. Okay. So this is what about the general, we want to talk about fitness or how you need to be fit. So what actually works? So in the just, on the whole, giving a small briefing on it, just about it, eat really clean. Eating clean doesn't mean having your plate clean, guys. When I say eat clean meaning have a good gut health. Okay. Eat for your body needs. That's what means eating clean. Eat all healthy foods. Do regular exercise. Don't take your sleep for granted. If your sleep is not good, believe me, you do whatever in your life, it's not going to work. Okay, you need to have a very good sleep and bowel movement, guys. And this is also something which a lot of people take things for granted. If you want to be fit, you want to be healthy, you should have a very, very good bowel movement. So why the reason? See, bowel movement, what happens? All the extras, which is unwanted things, is going out from the body, right? So if the bowel movement is not right, nothing is being excreted. What happens? Now all the unwanted things is already in the body, and how you expect the body to behave accordingly, guys? Come on, you need to have a very, very good bowel movement, a very good gut health. Okay, all this is a cycle. If you miss out on one thing, all the things is affected. Okay, you need to have a gut health. When I say gut, from here to our gut, our bowel, everything is gut. Okay, so we need to have a very good digestion. Should be no inflammation when we talk about gut. Okay, and a very good food psychology. When I say food psychology, this is about very, on the whole, it's a huge topic, a depth topic. But on gist, I will tell you, food psychology is eating happy. Okay, whatever we are eating, we need to eat very pleasant, happily. If you even eating a plate of biryani or a pizza or a burger, something which is even unhealthy, eat it happily and compensate the next day, or come to a normal routine the next day. Don't go to a guilt trip. When you go to on a guilt trip, your cortisol being secreted. The food psychology is very, very important when it comes to your healthy lifestyle. Okay, so when we do all this and we follow these other things, like other 7 points which is given, being very consistent. Following a diet is not easy. Maintaining a consistency is easy. It's very hard. Okay, you need to have a very good consistency over it, and you need to have a realistic goals, guys. You are getting into a lifestyle, you need to have a realistic goals. Don't put your legs in, like, don't strain yourself too much. Don't have unrealistic goals. Have a short-term goals. See the realistic results and then aim for it. Okay, and don't have any shortcuts, guys, and no guilt. No emotional eating. This is hard to do, but yeah, you can still practice. Like, you are stressed out, you eat something. Try to avoid that. That will also have a very good impact. Okay, and have a very good hormone balance, especially women. For all the women, for hormones are the major things. If hormones are disturbed, everything is disturbed. So we need to have a hormone balance. A quick tip here, okay, to have a good hormones, you need to have a good fat intake. When I say fat intake, all the good fats, your nuts, your ghee, butter, which is your good for, okay, nuts, seeds, all these things fall in place, then your hormones are balanced, and have a very good gut health. If all these things work, definitely you can be fit. Okay, to get this all right, you need to have a good lifestyle. Okay, so what happens when you are very fit? Your energy levels are boosted. Why these 4 points I've given is, when we get into a diet or when we get into a pattern, what we generally do is we only look into the weighing scale. But that's wrong. You do a lifestyle management, you get into a diet, you need to check your energy level, how it is. You need to check your mood swings. You need to know how your work balance is. You need to check on the weight. You need to check on the immunity. If all these things are good, when you're following a diet, when you're following a lifestyle, then you are on a right track. If these things are missing, then you are somewhere going wrong. So being fit boosts all these things. So focus on these things. Okay. So there are some tips which is again repeated, and you can always maintain this on this way also. Okay. Set a realistic goal. Eat or right food on a right time. Portion control is very important. Okay, and do your exercise daily, which is your combination of cardio and strengthening, and always maintain a diary for yourself, to have a good recall. Get a good sleep, always stay motivated, hydrate yourself, water is very important. Okay, and also a good mental well-being. All these things is very, very important for your fitness. So this is how you become fit. Or being a fat, that's what the topic is. So I'm just mentioning on that. This is a small tip which is away from the topic, which is for your gut health, because gut is everything, guys. Mind and gut is linked. So do this, because once your gut is clear, which is your gut is good, this is happy. Your mind is happy. Everything is happy. Okay. Avoid inflammatory foods. Include anti-inflammatory. A lot of prebiotics and probiotics. Exercise and good fats will make your gut really, really healthy. Once your gut is healthy, everything is sorted. Your bowel movement, sleep, fat deposition, everything is sorted. So do that. So some of the inflammatory foods are, these are the things, okay? Just the information that I want to give it to you guys. So these are the things generally causes a lot of inflammation. Inflammation is swelling, okay? So there is the inflammation in the gut. Lot of things doesn't happen. We stand still, okay? Don't do this. And anti-inflammatory foods can be, these are the foods which removes the inflammation from the gut, okay? Concentrate and have a very, very good lifestyle, okay? So yeah, these are the tips for the healthy lifestyle. Okay, guys? Okay, sorry. Any questions? So that's about it. So hope you guys had a good session. I want you guys to talk. And
That was an amazing speech, ma'am. Now we came to understand what is really the term fit means, and what are the myths we come across and its effect on us, and about the food pyramid, food choices, customized diet plan, and necessarily nutrition supplementation, the fitness routine, the importance of exercise, and awareness of our mental health and its impact. At the end, we learned about almost holistic health. Thanks again for sharing an information session, ma'am. Can we have a brief question and answer session, ma'am?
thank you, guys. Any questions you have? See, if there's no
Yes,
question,
ma'am.
it doesn't mean, it means you guys understood. Or if there is no question, then it means that you guys understood nothing. So what does it mean?
Yes, ma'am. We are having questions, ma'am. Shall we ask, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Yes. Question and answer over Ramzat Sumya.
Okay.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
So we do have a lot of questions here, ma'am. The first one is, if not BMI, can I use IBW as a scale to measure my fitness?
What is it?
If not BMI, can I use IBW, ideal body weight, as a scale to measure my fitness?
Yeah, ideal body weight is how you measure.
Height in centimeters by hand, minus subtracted by hand.
Okay, so yeah, so that's a good question. See, that's what I'm saying. What's your name? I'm sorry. So yeah, anyway, so that's what I'm trying to say you. Don't just rely on the weight, okay? See, even the IBW gives you a rough structure. See, what we do when it comes to IBW, when a person is obese, we take the IBW and give them the certain calories, right? That's what we do generally with the normal practice. But to make it realistic, get in detail about the fat and muscle percentage, guys. So then the results are very good. You can do BMI, you can do IBW, anything for that matter. It's just about deciding on the calories. Okay. So just by deciding on the calories, you cannot formulate a diet plan. For you to formulate a diet plan, you need to know their structural make of their body, how the person's muscle is, how the person's fat is. Without knowing this, you prescribe a diet will not have a realistic results. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, another question about supplements. Doctors prescribe these zinc tablets for pregnant women. Are they really necessary? So,
see, I will never come into this topic because doctors are always doctors. We cannot say no to a supplement which is doctor's giving us, okay? Because a pregnancy, especially, it's a very, very crucial stage where you need certain things, because that's some additional thing which is for the baby and for the women, right? For the mother. Okay, so if a gynec is giving you a supplement and if it's been suggested, yes, we need to go with it, because that's something time that we cannot take a chance. So we need to go with it. But definitely they will be giving either a folic acid supplement or a iron supplement based on the blood works. They will also not give you something unnecessarily, like, you know, when it comes to protein or something which is unnecessary, right? So that way, to answer your question, we need to go with whatever the doctor say. We need to go with the doctor. no other. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, another question. How to compensate when we have junk foods like burgers the next day without feeling guilty later?
Eat it, enjoy it, happily, guys. That's what I say. End of the day, all are human beings. We need something like, have a good lifestyle, guys. Have a 6 day of a good routine. Have it one day. Have it weekly once. Enjoy that meal. It's still okay. So if you had a burger, nothing to think wrong about it. Okay, you had a burger, just forget it. Have a good meal the next day. If you have a burger for lunch, have a good usual normal dinner for normal next meal. If you want to skip that meal also, it's still fine. Like, if you feel full, skip it. Just because you had a burger and you are hungry, don't skip it. You're still hungry, don't skip it. Forget about it. You are only giving a nice food to the system. Okay. You should not have it repeatedly. If you're feeling guilty after having repeatedly, don't have it repeatedly. No need to feel guilty at all. Okay, so the guiltness, how you can avoid is only by the practice. Once you follow a very good 6 day routine, when you follow a very nice lifestyle for 6 days, then one day you have a burger, you won't feel guilty. If you have 5 days of burger in a week, then you will feel guilty. Then we need to work on that. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, about the skipping meal thing, can I skip meals if I'm not hungry?
Yes, you can. See, you not being hungry is because so many reasons. Okay, you not being hungry, if you are stressed out, then it's wrong. You need to work on the stress. If you have a very large meal, if you have a very heavy breakfast, and then you're not feeling hungry in the lunch, you can skip your meal. You can skip your lunch. But just because to lose weight, you cannot skip your meal. If your previous meal is heavy and you've had enough before and you're not hungry, then yes, you can.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, another question. What are the do's and don'ts in intermittent fasting?
Okay, so intermittent fasting itself is something very, very unique, guys. So intermittent fasting is about having food. The eating window is 8 hours. Okay, the fasting window is 16 hours. Here we can tweak a lot. Okay, we can also have 10 hours of eating window and 14 hours of fasting window. Like that, we can have a lot of tweaks. Okay, but what is the do's and don'ts? That 8 hours of eating window or 10 hours of eating window is there, right? So you need to eat very, very nutritious, very healthy. Even in that eating windows of 8 hours and 10 hours, you should not restrict your food intake. Like some people will have just fruit juices, just fruits or vegetables alone in the eating window, even when they are doing iron. That is not allowed. You should have a good nutritious meal in your eating window and fast completely on the fasting window. So what is allowed during the fasting window is like your green teas, your black coffees, some kind of detox waters and all that. Definitely fruit juices are not allowed. All these things are not allowed during your fasting period. Okay, these are the things you need to do when it comes to intermittent fasting. See, intermittent fasting is a very good way you can do, but you need to know what is your work style is. If you are a person who work out on a crazy timings, then you need to tweak the timings accordingly. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Another question. How can one find that he or she is fat?
How can one find? If you feel yourself so heavy, if you feel yourself so, like, if you're not able to do a work, like if you climb a staircase for more than 3 times and you're feeling a breathlessness, then you can think about your fat percentage, guys. If you're not able to do a workout for more than 10 minutes and you're feeling a breathlessness, you're feeling so heavy, so you're feeling heavy to carry yourself, all these things are not okay. So then you can think about your being fat. So you can work on the weight. See, I'm not saying even if your BMI is high, you need to just forget it. If you are a person who are working out every day, eating a good food and your muscle percentage is very, very good and your tone, your body is all fine, you can forget about the BMI. If you're having a very bad lifestyle, not eating good food, not exercising at all, and all these things, then you feel so heavy, not able to do any exercise and all this, definitely your fat will go really high. Then you need to work on the eating pattern and your lifestyle on general. Okay, so yeah, to answer your question, a person being fat, how we can conclude or come to a idea is how you carry yourself. If you feel heavy, you're not able to do certain work, and then you need to think that you're having excess fat in the body. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
So another question about exercise. If we lose our motivation for exercise someday, it becomes difficult to get back to the routine. How
Yes.
to overcome that?
It's so simple. Don't overdo the exercise. You will not lose interest. Okay. Only when we overdo the exercise, when we push our limits. Okay. Say for an example, there are so many people. Just a realistic example, I want to tell you. A lot of people go cycling. They want to do cycling every day, and they want to achieve their target. Okay. They want to do so many kilometers. Okay. They push their limits. And what happens? They cannot do it every day. They give up. So that is wrong. Okay. You do just 10 kilometers for some 1 month and push it 5 kilometers every week. Then you will never give up. The give up comes only when we push our limits. When we have our limits, when we do it step by step, gradually we increase our intensity, we increase our timing, we will not give up. And also for women, no, this is something common. We need to have some friends to chit chat and all that. So that is something characteristic thing. So we cannot do much about it. So this is about when it comes to workout. And give a normal, consistent intensity, guys. Then you will never give up workout. If you're bored, then change the workout pattern. That's the thing you can do about it.
Thank you, ma'am. Another question. How long should I wait to take a meal after exercise and why?
See, this is on the whole is about your workout nutrition. Okay. So when we talk about a workout on the whole, see, it's about pre, post, during workout. So before your workout, you need to have a food definitely. See, say for an example, not a big meal. Your big meal should be 3 hours before your workout. Okay. Or if your big meal is very short, then it's fine. So 30 minutes before your workout, you need to have something which is very simple in your carbs. Okay. Which you get the instant energy. And finishing your workout, you need to have your post meal. We call it as a post workout meal, right? So that needs to be within 20 minutes. Okay. That why the 20 minutes? That's how your muscle, already the 1 hour of exercise you have done, already muscle is being so tired. All the soreness is there in the body. So please don't give the body that kind of tiredness. That protein should go within 20 minutes. If there is that 20 minutes of protein being given in the to the system, then the muscle recovery is very fast. Okay, the muscle recovery is fast. Then there is a good lean body muscle buildup. Okay, there is a proper muscle buildup happening in the system. So that's the golden timing. 20 minutes, within 20 to 30 minutes after you work out, you need to give something which is rich in protein. So what we get from protein, which is your amino acid, right? Because for the muscle recovery, we need that amino acid and the electrolytes, which we get it from the protein and the electrolyte sources. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Clear, ma'am. Next question. Can I use these fad diets just to reduce weight and then go back to my normal meals for maintaining pace?
That is, yeah, it's possible to do it, but that fat diets, how you get it, that matters a lot. If you Google it, then please don't do it. Get it from a professional. Get that fat. If you really want to do, see, if the professional is very good, definitely a professional will not give you a fat diet. Okay, so don't do Google fat diets and start following it because that is very bad. Because if you go really high on the protein, guys, say for just for an example, if you go a keto and you go really high on the protein, and you forget to take a lot of water, which none of the Google will say that information have a lot of water, and the water needs to be measured. So if you forget to do that, then that's a problem. So if you have a good professional advice on taking any particular diet for a weight loss and then slowly getting into a maintenance diet, then it is perfect. But just by browsing it, don't do it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Another one. What are some weight training exercises for women?
See, I cannot say that because that's something a fitness expert, which is like a trainer, a person who's a fitness trainer should say that. Lot of weight training exercises are there. What I would suggest is get the advice from the trainers and start doing it. It's nothing to say this is good, this is not good. How your body is like, what is the need, which place you require that training, that the trainer should decide on it.
Yes, ma'am. A question on the same exercise field, ma'am.
Yes.
30 minutes walking or aerobics, which is more effective to lose weight?
Both are good. Both are cardio. That's what I said. On the whole, just cardio itself is not really correct idea. You need to get into some kind of weight training. So if you take just cardio, all the cardios are good, guys. It's about the intensity. If you go for a dog walk and you call it as a walk, then it's wrong. If you go with a chit chat walk and then you call it as a walk, then it's wrong. Okay, you need to have a real good, intensive, good walk. Then the walk is good. Okay, so otherwise any kind of cardio is good. Even Zumba is good if you really do dance. Okay, if you just go on the behind and just stand like, just moving your body like this and that, and you're not working out, then the Zumba is also not good. So it's about the intensity. Then the cardio, any form of cardio is good. It's nothing to do with which form and all that. All the form is fine.
Ma'am, so does age and weight matters for skipping, ma'am? What about skipping, ma'am?
Skipping exercise? You
Yes,
can
ma'am.
do. I need whichever age you are in. Like you can do skipping anytime, any age. See, that's what I say. If your body is well maintained, you can really do it, guys. It's nothing wrong and it's hard at all. It's about your muscle and fat, how your body is made, and you're maintaining it. Skipping is very easy, even at the age of 60. Okay.
Yes,
So yeah, done.
Ma'am, we have a final question, ma'am.
Yes.
What is the maximum weight to reduce in a month for a person dieting for weight loss?
There's nothing like that. Okay. What I would say is 1 to 2 kg should be more than enough. 1 kg is a very good number because that is more consistent. Maximum can go as 2 kgs if the body is reacting well. Not more than 2 or 3 or something. Not more than 2. With my experience and with my knowledge, nobody can lose more than 2 kgs in a month if they are on a good lifestyle. If you go on a crash, then yeah, you might lose 5 kgs and all that. Okay, and to just something extra thing you can do. If you have 2 months back, 3 months back, you've taken a dress and you want to fit into that and you've gained weight, try to measure your inches, guys. Don't get into the weighing scale. Always measure inches, because when you lose fat, automatically the inches goes down. Okay, if you lose inches, it's not that definitely you will lose weight. Okay, this is two different things. So if you lose inches and you can see the difference in the inch loss, then you are on a right track. Then you can have a good idea about what you're doing. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
So I want to ask you one last question from my side. What is the important macronutrient that I told you that when I was talking? I want to get that from you guys.
Dietary fiber, ba?
Fiber, ma'am.
No, guys, come on. You have protein, carbs, fat, and one more macronutrient is there. What is that? Yes, no?
Fluid, ma?
Yes, you cannot generally call it as fluid, water.
Water. Yes.
Okay, so I just want to know it from you guys. So water is a very, very important macronutrient, guys. So don't forget to have it. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. That was nice, like a lot of questions. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Thank you for answering patiently to all the questions, ma'am.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Exercise not only changes your body, it changes your mind, your attitude, and your mood. Exercise should be regarded as a tribute to the heart. Good things come to those who sweat. Of all the paths you take in life, make sure a few of them are good. I'd like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt thanks to our chief guest, Ms. Karpagavalli. With this, we come to the end of today's session. The philosophy of holistic nutrition is that one's health is an expression of the complex interplay between physical and chemical, mental and emotional, as well as spiritual and environmental aspects of one's life and being. Stay tuned for this next scientific talk on holistic nutrition for women by Ms. Grace Gnanapriya and for the surprise guest on 7th September. Thank you.